From the very first second, this didn't sound like a casual opinion. It sounded like a verdict, a final one. When a man who has spent decades behind palace gates, who has watched history unfold through a lens, finally speaks, you listen. And this time, he wasn't whispering, he wasn't being polite, he wasn't protecting anyone's image anymore.
Here, he was somebody, and there is just another celebrity. In my view, he's a loser, big time.
The legendary royal photographer Arthur is not mincing words at all. He called Harry a loser, and he said it with confidence. Here are the 10 reasons the royal photographer thinks Harry is a loser. And do not miss the 7th reason, because that one is the bitter truth. There is nothing nicer than being royalty. And not just any royalty, you are part of the lineage of the king. But Harry threw all that away for a Netflix show that flopped terribly. And he went ahead to speak ill of the monarchy. According to Arthur, he is no longer welcome in the royal family. And that decision is final. That word, final, lands like a door slamming shut. Because this isn't about a temporary feud or a cold phase. This is about something permanently broken. Arthur doesn't talk like someone who believes there's a return ticket waiting. He talks like someone who watched a man voluntarily step off a throne and then complain about the ground. Harry didn't fall. Didn't get pushed. According to Arthur, he walked away, smiling, cameras rolling, contract signed, and now he's shocked that the palace didn't chase him down the driveway. And the palace? It didn't distance itself quietly, it didn't ease him out gently, it shut the gate.
He's got to start sort of seeing things as they really are, and he's no longer welcome here, it just seems, and he's going to have to make a big act of contrition, in my view, to the king before he gets back, because
the palace is not distancing themselves from Harry. They have gone into full lockdown mode because of Harry. An urgent renovation may be going on inside the palace. His old keys no longer work. Before he steps into the palace, he now has to ask for an invitation. And if the invitation is not granted, he will sit back in his Montecito mansion. From a prince to a commoner, this is the ultimate downgrade of the century. And it is a big loss. One of the biggest losses a man can face is when his own family is afraid to speak privately with him. According to Arthur, Harry has lost his family and even close friends because they are terrified that any conversation will end up in the next book, the next documentary, or the next Oprah Sob special. Imagine that, not being hated, being feared. Feared not because you're powerful, but because you're untrustworthy. Because every sentence could be monetized, every dinner could become content, every private moment could end up binge-watched. Arthur paints a brutal picture. Harry isn't a son anymore, he's a risk, he isn't family, he's a leak. And the reason the silence is so loud, Netflix is always watching.
quite honestly, they're frightened to have him with them in things, because any conversation they may have could be in the next TV program, and they're not prepared to do that anymore.
The royals are cautious because it seems the planned content for Netflix is finished, and a simple hello from any royal could become a 6-episode Netflix series. A private chat with Harry could appear in his next memoir titled Spare Two. Harry has gone from being a prince to a walking audio recorder, and the firm is tired of providing content for Harry and Meghan's production line. Harry went from celebrated war hero who fought in Afghanistan to Hollywood hobby podcaster, rejected by Spotify, and only good at sob interviews with Oprah. Yet, he still claims to be a powerful prince. He thinks he is bigger than he actually is. That's the shift Arthur can't forgive. Not ambition, not independence, but delusion. Acting royal without responsibility, demanding reverence without service, wanting the crown's power without its discipline. Arthur said,
No, I think he thinks he's bigger than he actually is, and I also feel that Meghan is becoming, I don't think almost she doesn't want to come here anymore.
So Harry lives like the main character in a movie that nobody else is watching. Harry is living in a fantasy universe where he is the main character, but in reality, in people's eyes, he's just a puppet. Arthur says his ego is now a floating hot air balloon drifting with no rope, no direction, and absolutely no applause. The joy of every parent is seeing their grandchildren. And one of the biggest blessings for a child is loving grandparents. But Harry is making his children lose valuable relationships with their grandfather and even their cousins and nieces. And this is where Arthur's voice hardens, because now it's not about Harry anymore. It's about what he's taking from others. Time, family, moments that never come back.
And what really upsets the king is the fact he's never going to see his grandchildren. These two, this little boy and this little girl, should be playing with their cousins at Balmoral now. They should be here enjoying the life of the royal family. Instead of that, they're stuck in this house, or where is it, in Montecito?
Arthur describes Harry as emotionally cruel and evil-minded. King Charles is getting older by the day, and he is battling health issues that he is managing medically. So like I said, King Charles spent a short period of time in hospital today after experiencing the temporary side effects of his cancer treatment. This is the time he should spend with his grandchildren. But Harry is robbing him of this opportunity because of the useless decision to step away from royalty. Now the kids are growing up like children without a family, and they are only seen in paparazzi photos once a year. Harry is not just a bad son, he doesn't seem to be doing well as a father either. Arthur doesn't soften that blow, he lets it land. A man once adored, now absent. A son who chose distance. A father who replaced roots with optics. And this hurts even more, because Arthur remembers who Harry used to be. He remembers the laughter, the warmth, the ease with people, the Invictus Games, the pride. But then something changed. Harry didn't just lose popularity, he collapsed. Before he went, he was the most popular member of the royal family, and now he's right down almost at the bottom of the list. Yeah, he's slightly above Meghan. Okay. And slightly above Andrew as well. Slightly above Andrew, let that sink in. Falling so far that the comparison itself feels humiliating. Arthur calls it the most dramatic fall he's ever witnessed. Not because it was forced, but because it was chosen. He traded legacy for relevance, purpose for paparazzi, respect for contracts. He wanted Hollywood, but Hollywood didn't want him. And Montecito, Arthur describes it as the place where celebrities go to fade quietly, where green juice replaces meaning, where people pretend someone still cares. Harry wanted A-listers. He got Z-listers. He wanted applause. He got silence. And still, according to Arthur, the fix is obvious. Come home, apologize, grow up, but Harry won't. Instead, he sues. He demands. He insists. And he's going to have to make a big act of contrition, in my view, to the king before he gets back. Even the mediation he planned with his father ended in a deadlock in less than 15 minutes. Well, my understanding is that actually the meeting lasted for exactly 12 minutes, not 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And also that Harry took it upon himself without an invitation to get on a plane, fly over, and inform the king's office that he was arriving. So one could actually almost wonder who was the visit for. Was it for Harry? Was it for the king? Or was it for Netflix? Or was it a combination of all three? I don't think anybody is particularly convinced that Harry has done this for any other reason but to work himself into the narrative and keep himself at the forefront. Is that the kind of son who would humble himself to ask for forgiveness? Arthur doesn't believe the security story either. They thought he should have been here. And all this nonsense about he couldn't get protection, as far as I'm concerned, that was a pathetic excuse. According to Arthur, Harry didn't want safety, he wanted style, cameras, drama, a grand return that fit the brand. And when it didn't, he stayed away. And Meghan? Arthur says the silence there is louder than anything else. Meghan is becoming I don't think almost she doesn't want to come here anymore, and he comes back, but she never comes with him. She married a prince, but ended up with a man who now flies economy and gets mocked by Piers Morgan daily. This is a huge fall from grace for Harry. Arthur's final words are merciless. Harry wasn't just royal, he was immortal in the public imagination. Loved, respected, welcomed by nations. And he traded it all for victimhood, for therapy sessions on record, for contracts that expired, for a life where the cameras still roll but nobody applauds anymore. Arthur says the game is over. Harry didn't lose by accident, he chose it. And that, Arthur says, is the definition of a loser for life. Of a loser for life. Of a loser for